Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. So today we're going to be getting back into this hive number 1 and 5 combine. So those were two really weak hives. They were nukes that weren't doing well. Number 5 was queenless last time, and that queen was at least 3 years old, and the hive number 1 queen is at least 2 years old. So I'm waiting on them to supersede. I haven't fed them or done anything. I just did a newspaper combine of the 2 nukes. And today I might, if I don't get too hot, get a frame of brood out of one of these hives that doesn't have a super on it and put in there to give them a little bit of a boost. And I got some sugar here. I might mix up a little bit of sugar water without any feeding stimulant, because we're towards the end of the dearth. We've got a little bit of rain, so it's September 1st today. So I haven't noticed goldenrod blooming yet driving around, but it shouldn't be long. It'll start blooming and we'll start bringing in that dark nectar. So let's get started and get that newspaper out of there first and check on their health and see how they're doing, and see if we want to add a frame of brood in there or not. So let's get started. Okay, so here we are at hive number 1. Saw they got some decent entrance activity there, so they look like they're doing okay. To have 10 frames in this hive is probably too much for them as far as the population goes. They have a pretty low population. So I'm going to get this newspaper out of here and get it cleaned up and just kind of assess it and see what we need to do. So let's get started. Okay, the reason I keep these rocks on here like this, bigger rocks, is because this lid's a little bit warped, because the grain of the plywood goes this direction, and I don't know if this is a lid I made or one I bought that came with a nuke, but the grain needs to go the other direction, so if it warps, it'll kind of warp to the sides a little and not lengthwise. Okay, let's see what we find in here. Only one hive beetle there on the top. That's good. I don't see a whole lot of bees up here. So we've got empty comb here with a little bit of pollen and nectar they're putting in. So they are finding some nectar out there. And this one is completely empty, and this side has nectar. There's a few shiny cells in here. Hope you can see any of that. Kind of got a shadow thing going on there with the camera. Here's what the inside looks like after a newspaper combine. You can see they've chewed through in between the frames almost all the way. So we'll go ahead and clean that up and get that out of there. Okay, so there's a good shot of that newspaper. You can see how they go through it. Someone asked me if there was any honey coupons on that. All right, let's get this cleaned up. Smoke them down so I don't chop any of them up, scraping this off. There we go. Okay, let's take a peek in here. Looks like there's more bees on this left side, so I'm going to start over here. And that's completely empty comb. Looks empty on this side. And there's a lot of nectar right there. Nice shiny nectar. So they probably don't need fed, I wouldn't think, with that much nectar in there. And I see a bee right here with pollen. So they're bringing in pollen. Here's where our queen's been laying. So we have capped brood here. I don't see her on this side. Let's check the other side. Yeah, she's laying on this side too because we have capped brood here. And I see eggs in there, and I also see larvae. So they're in various stages. So she's continuing to lay. Look on this side one more time. She is laying more now though, I think, than she was before. There she is. She's marked red. So she's laid on this frame as well. There she is right there. Got some drone cells here, drawn out as drone cells, but there's nothing in them. So both sides of this frame have capped larvae. And here's your pollen. Different colors in there. So I think what we will do is put a brood frame in here because the queen's showing signs of kicking it in. She just needs some help. So we'll put it right here. And when I go find a box, a hive that I want to use, I'll replace what I take out with this here. Just cover that up for now. Okay, I'm going to go see if I can find me a brood frame over here. I think I'm going to go into hive number 13, see what we can find over there. Okay, I was wrong. It's going to be hive number 14 here. Reason I picked 14 is it doesn't have a honey super on it. So this is probably it's either a split, one I started this year, or it's one that was on the decline, and I don't remember. But let's get in it. It's warming up fast. Lots of bees up here, that's good. So since I'm not worried about looking for the queen here, I'm gonna give them some smoke. No queen on the lid. Boy, looks to me like this is all honey. I told myself this week I was going to find my J-hook hive tool. And I didn't do it. Yeah, this is a heavy frame. Having a hard time getting it out of there. Yeah, that is solid honey. Got bees buzzing my head. Give them a little bit heavier smoke. Don't want another Hive 8 incident like I had the other day. Solid honey. Might have to make a note of this. I might want to pull a couple of these frames out and harvest them. They don't need a complete full deep, but we'll see Not all the way through it yet. Solid honey. There's maybe 1.5 inches on the bottom that's not capped. This is all capped. This looks backfilled here with fall nectar. It's darker. And I see brood, yay! So here's almost a solid brood frame with honey around the top. So not likely the queen will be on this because it's all capped, but we'll look real close. And this is, I'm going to take this frame over there. Maybe not. This is a lot of eggs and fresh larvae right in here. So let's look at the next one. I hate to put all those uncapped in there because there aren't enough nurse bees probably to take care of those. Mainly what I want is capped. I think what I'll do, I was going to shake these off, but I'm going to take them and boost that colony up a little bit with a little more population, and they'll help tend to those young larvae in here. In fact, I might shake a frame of bees over there. Okay, let's go with this one. There's not a lot of bees on here because I smoked them down, but I'm going to take these over there and shake them in. So any bee on here that's a nurse bee will stay where I shake them, and any field bee will fly out and come back to this hive. Okay, I got my 2 frames sitting right here. Since I'm going to shake some bees in, I'm going to move this frame out of my way, get a little bit more room. Here's my shaking frame. Looking on here for a queen. If I move my queen into this nuke, that would not be good. So here's the bees we're introducing. So since I'm not doing a drench, I'm going to smoke them real good. I'm going to go put this one back. So I got quite a few bees stacked up right here. So I'm going to need to figure out a way to get them in the hive, coax them with a little bit of smoke, and I'm going to put that frame in there. Okay, Hive 14's buttoned up. As strong as it is, we might put a honey super on here and get a little bit of fall honey if I've got some drawn comb. Most of my drawn comb's already out here on the hives, but I'll have to go look and see what I have. I don't think I have any. But let's get over there and finish that one up. So as you can see, all the bees that were on the outside have either flown off or found their way in. There's a few stragglers out there. Things at the front entrance look to be back to normal. Okay, I went ahead and mixed up a quart of sugar water without any stimulant in it, so hopefully I don't regret this. A lot of trash builds up on these blocks when you put them over the front to reduce the entrance. kind of clean that up a little bit. Okay, so that's it for this hive number 1. I think we got them set up for success going into winter. They're going to need some more stores, so we got them some sugar water for that. If we need to, we can feed them granulated sugar through the winter. The next step I will probably do is put this into a 10 frame single deep instead of this double decker like that. Or I may just completely reduce it down to one single nuke to get through winter, and put a spacer on top with a layer, 1.5 inches or so of sugar for them. But I think with that brood that I just put in there, the bees I shook in, population wise, they're a little weak for where they need to be for a 5 frame nuke, but that queen's laying. So with the sugar water, the nectar they're bringing in, and I saw pollen, she should start laying even more now and start doing better. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing with this weak hive is starting to come back around. But what's questionable now is the age of that queen, if they supersede her, how all that'll go. Because if they don't supersede her in the next month or so, the chances of having a mated queen in there are very slim. And she's going to have to carry them through winter and then supersede in the spring when there are drones to fertilize a new queen. So anyway, that is it for this hive. Give me a thumbs up if you would. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel on your way out. I appreciate that. And we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.